Welcome to our next MarchFifteen in Conversation segment. We are really very pleased today to speak with James McLean, who is Utilities Practice for PwC Canada. And in addition, you also lead Utilities, Energy and Resources Practice for the Consulting.
I do indeed.
So a mouthful. How did I do?
Yeah, you did fantastically. That's a long number of kind of acronyms to cram into something. So
yeah, I practiced, but there are certain things I know about working with you, James. Not only that you're very smart and you're amazing in helping clients deal with all kinds of complex problems, but you do it with a strong focus on bringing out the best in people. And your passion of getting the best out of people and helping people grow is a big part of your leadership signature. And that's what I wanted to talk with you about, one coach to another. So,
I look forward to it.
So tell us, how did it come about, your love for helping people grow?
First of all, thanks so much for the opportunity to meet. There's never a discussion that we have that doesn't I don't learn things and kind of grow as an individual and as a coach. There's probably kind of two or three key things for me in terms of my journey. One was I'm a twin. I'm an identical twin. I've shared that with you before, and so I grew up from as young as I can remember, knowing that there was always someone just like me that was doing and learning and playing and competing the whole time. And sometimes Angus would be better at doing things than I was, and sometimes I might be better at doing things. But we grew up wanting to support one another. And if we always wanted to win, probably ourselves or do better ourselves. But if we couldn't do it, we always wanted to support the other one. And so that kind of experience of growing up as a twin from day one was definitely formative in terms of it's not just about your own performance, it's about someone else's performance that certainly mattered to me. Number two was probably sadly when my father died when I was at age 14, that kind of put a metronome in me around personal improvement and development, and wanting to do whatever I could to be as good as I could be at whatever pursuit or interest I was working on. And I think as a result I became a strong observer of my own performance and learned how to critique and improve and kind of find ways to get additional levels of performance whatever I was doing. And I think I learned to observe that in others as well, and so I then found I had an ability to kind of support others in a way that was different to maybe what they were getting from their own coaches or teachers, or in some cases kind of leading teams. And I put it to work and enjoyed it. And I love seeing the kind of the fruit of that labor and what came out of those experiences. And I was definitely not great at it to start with. I delivered feedback and insight and observations in the wrong way at the wrong time. But I learned, and I continue to try and get better, and still continue to try and get better at that on a day-to-day basis.
It's amazing. You're touching here upon several aspects and attributes of people who, generally speaking, as leaders, are really inspiring. So striving for excellence, being generous towards others, having a sense of self and being self-aware about the impact that we have, and last but not least, curiosity. Really truly caring and being curious about what's happening somewhere else, rather than coming with a preconceived notion of what right looks like or what the answers to questions should be, but having that inquisitive mind and looking at issues with a fresh eye and fresh perspective. Yeah. I think that shifts the conversation and takes it to a very different place typically, no?
I think so. I definitely have had a very inquisitive mind from an early age. I guess my pursuit of engineering early on was about I wanted to be able to take things apart and put them back together again. I realized, certainly that I got more rewards and enjoyment from helping kind of people versus things, if I'm honest. And that's definitely kind of where I've gravitated. And then I think I think I've also responded to some amazing kind of coaches and leaders that I've worked with over the years, and always benefited most from people that ask questions and kind of challenged maybe the way that I was approaching something or thinking something through, but never with giving me an answer. And I think that the ability to do that is a critical fundamental of any great coach is never to kind of give answers or suggestions to a coachee, but just kind of try and help kind of unlock their thinking in a different way. And so that's what you do to me on a regular basis, and I've gravitated to those kind of coaches and leaders, and have done whatever I can to be a kleptomaniac for the questions that they ask, and also the way that they go around listening and observing and then building trust, right? Because I think the other thing for me that's mission critical is, from a coaching standpoint, the moment you ever feel like the coach is giving advice or asking questions that are in their best interest versus your best interest, I shut down. And I've had some phenomenal kind of leaders and coaches that have been good at that. Probably the most important one was a guy called McLean, who every single time I met with him around a personal or professional situation, I always left feeling like the whole conversation had been about what was most important to me, and that in the workplace in particular is very rare.